Texas defends its position that the state is under invasion at the border.
The federal government continues to fail us. The governor has a duty and obligation to protect the citizens of Texas.
The debate on Capitol Hill and reaction from the community caught in the middle. Top Democrats running for Senate meet on the debate stage. They have different messages for voters, how that's resonating as they race to be the one to take on Ted Cruz. A win and a loss in court for Ken Paxton as he tries to end the whistleblower case against his office.
Although the Attorney General is saying they won't contest the facts in our lawsuit, they're still actively denying them. And so they can't have it both ways.
The moves that kept him from testifying under oath while keeping the case alive.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. The situation at the Texas border is drawing more attention from people and politicians around the country. This week, a caravan of citizens traveled across the country to the border. The group of a few hundred people rallied in Dripping Springs near Austin Thursday night. Friday, many of them made the drive to a spot near Eagle Pass. Their plans to pray and protest at the border drew support and counter-protests along the way. Governor Greg Abbott will be in Eagle Pass today. He'll be joined by more than a dozen other governors who support his efforts on the border. Some, like Florida's Ron DeSantis, plan to send National Guard troops to help prevent migrants from crossing into Texas. Abbott plans to speak at Shelby Park in Eagle Pass. Last month, the Texas National Guard put up a gate and sealed off the park's entrance, not allowing U.S. Border Patrol agents to enter. Texas leaders maintain that they have to take control at the border because the state faces an invasion, and the state defended that position Tuesday during a congressional hearing on Capitol Hill. As Monica Madden found, much of the debate focused on whether what's happening at the border really is an invasion and the potential fallout of using that powerful term.
We need evidence for these claims that you're making about a danger.
For some residents of Eagle Pass, the escalating fight between the state and the feds at the border is harming the community.
The Supreme Court made a ruling. It's time for the state of Texas to obey the rule of law.
Please help stop this invasion.
In Congress Tuesday, Texas First Assistant Attorney General Brent Webster argued the state is within its authority by claiming constitutional self-defense.
The federal government continues to fail us. The governor has a duty and obligation to protect the citizens of Texas, and when he sees harms coming upon Texas, he has an obligation to act.
Throughout the hearing, parties grappled with what constitutes a so-called invasion, a key part of Texas's argument.
One definition of invasion is an encroachment upon rights of another.
It authorizes violence against them, and that is the truly dangerous piece of this language.
Calling it an invasion, a definition typically associated with a military offensive, is something Democrats say is dehumanizing and dangerous.
In the repeated cries of uninvasion, which is a dog whistle for the great replacement theory, there's deadly consequences to this kind of hate speech.
Border community residents just want solutions that work for everyone.
Obey international law when it comes to asylum seekers, and to make Texas the warm and loving place that I know it to be as my home.
Monica Madden, State of Texas.
Monica joins us now. You followed this hearing. Walk us through the arguments from Texas Assistant Attorney General Brent Webster about why this is necessary and, in his view, constitutional.
He really echoed a lot of the things that we've been hearing from Governor Greg Abbott, that this is Texas's right to self-defend itself from what they're calling an invasion at the southern border. Webster again pointed to the fact that he believes the federal government is not doing its job to secure the border, and therefore Texas is left with no options and has to take these types of initiatives under Operation Lone Star to secure the border. But that conversation quickly then spiraled into defining what exactly is an invasion. Folks were going back and forth during the hearing trying to nail down a definition, since it's something that's typically associated with a military offensive. And that's when the conversation got more heated. Lawmakers were trying to ask yes or no questions on these very complicated topics, and Democrats raised a lot of concerns about the rhetoric of calling it an invasion, noting that that has led to violence in the past, specifically the El Paso mass shooting, where the shooter used the word invasion in his manifesto.
This, of course, is all happening as lawmakers look to strike a border deal, but also the House is moving forward with impeachment of DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Seems like we can expect this to be an ongoing issue for months to come, right?
Absolutely, Josh. I mean, as we've been reporting on this program and in our other newscasts, this is a top issue for Republicans. It is one of the #1 polling issue amongst their constituents, that base of primary voters, Republican voters in Texas, as well as in other states. So it is an election year. Granted, this has been an ongoing issue for quite some time. It has been decades since Congress has passed any meaningful immigration reforms that a lot of experts say are desperately needed. But because we're in an election year, because this is something that polls so well with Republican primary voters, this is definitely an issue that we're going to be hearing about for months to come as we get closer and closer to November 2024, Josh.
All right, Monica Madden, thank you very much.
Thanks.
3 candidates, 1 goal. Beat Ted Cruz. Democrats running for U.S. Senate meet on the debate stage. What we learned about their different strategies to win your vote. Texas law bans transgender children from receiving certain health care options, but now that law faces a challenge at the Texas Supreme Court. We look closer at the arguments and what's next in the case.